Alright, what we got going on here is I'm going to replace my filter here. What we have is a waterway filter and pump. And what happened is that right before we went on vacation, it got a crack right here at the neck. And I JB welded it. And I thought that was going to hold, and it didn't hold. And I actually think we created our own problem because I was being lazy. And I got a ball valve there. And when I was hooking the brush up to suck the junk off the bottom of the pool into the skimmer, instead of turning the filter off, I just turned that valve. And I think it was building up too much pressure in here, and that's probably what created it or made it crack. That's what I think anyway. I'm not a pool professional. I'm just assuming that that's what happened, because I know when you read it, it says in all the directions to turn the pump off when you're hooking the filter or the brush up. So from now on, I told the wife, when we vacuum the pool, we need to turn the filter off. And what we bought is I got a brand new Hayward Pro Series filter system, sand filter. And the reason I went with Hayward is I've had a lot of problems finding parts for the waterway. My local pool store carries the Hayward stuff, so I can go right up there and get it, and it's not too expensive. I can find waterway parts, but I can only find them online, or I have to drive like 50 miles to a store that carries them, and they're apparently proud of their stuff because it's rather expensive. So I went with the Hayward pump. I bought it from, let's see if I can remember if it says on here somewhere. I can't remember because I ordered it before we went on vacation. Well, I'll find that out for you. And the reason I ordered it online, I found a place that had the best price. And what I liked about the place I ordered it from is they gave you the option to bust it up into 3 payments, and they shipped it to you right away. So that was kind of cool. So that's why I went with that. So right now, I got everything, because I hard plumbed mine. I got everything unhooked, and we're going to get this sand filter system out of the way. I'm going to keep my pump as a backup. The other thing we talked about is I have a fire hydrant. I'm a firefighter and I have a fire hydrant. And we talked about over here where we're still working on this patio, maybe putting like a little water garden in and using that pump for the water garden to pump water through the fire hydrant, make it look like it's flowing water. That'd be kind of cool. So that might be a future project. So we got that all unhooked, and we'll get this one unboxed and work on getting it installed. Alright, there we go. We got the old filter all moved out of the way. And I got a inline chlorinator that we'll have to deal with, and like this is a waterway connection, so I'm sure it's not going to work with the new filter because that would just be way too convenient. So we'll probably have to run to the hardware store and get some more plumbing connections too. So let's get this guy opened up. Alright, we got her all unboxed. We got the base over there. Got the instructions that I probably won't look at. I might, I don't know. But this is the Hayward Pro Series. I got a 24-foot above ground, and I bought the filter. It's a 150-pound sand filter. That's the one that I got. That's what was recommended for my size pool. So, start getting this thing put together. Alright, so we started getting this thing assembled. The directions aren't very good, so I figured that much out. And actually, that hooked up just like I had it on my old one. And I'm assuming that's how that hose goes so far. And I read in there to fill this thing up halfway with water before putting the sand in it. So I got it filled about halfway full of water. I'm going to go get the sand, start putting the sand in there, 150 pounds of it, and then we'll get the top put on. Alright, we got our sand all in there. There's a nice little cardboard cover that they made that fits in here. Helps keep, you don't want to get any of it down in there. So 150 pounds of pool filter sand. If you're going to put sand in your filter, make sure you go to the pool store and get the right stuff. You can't just go to the hardware store and get the sandbox sand. So now we'll get the top put on it. Yeah. Alright, we got everything hooked back up. Not exactly how I want it. We had to use one of the hoses that came with it until I get some other plumbing so I can re-hard plumb this one. because like I said, that waterway fitting won't fit, so we got to bring that up a little bit and over, but that PVC plumbing, that's no big deal. So let's, I guess we'll go ahead and fire this thing up, see what it does. Alright, here we go, let's plug her in. And that contact. Looks like everything's working like it's supposed to be.
Daddy, I need you to do it.
Got a nice stream of water coming out in here. I don't see any leaks. Of course, I got water all over everything, so even if there was a leak, I wouldn't even know it. But, you know, so far so good. Alright, so we got the filter all finished up here. I did a little replumbing on it. I didn't like the hose that they had that went from the pump to the filter. Just had like clamps, and I guess because of the amount of pressure in here, it was dripping a little bit, and that kind of drove me nuts. So I hard plumbed it, and then I hooked my chlorinator into it, which I like that connection better too. So we did that. The only thing I should have done that I didn't do is I should have put a union in here so I could bust this apart if I need to, but I figure if I ever have to take it apart, I'll cut it here, take it apart, then add a union in there. No big deal. But other than that, you know, this part here isn't plumbed exactly how I wanted it, but it was already done over to here for the old one, so I just, instead of redoing all this and bringing it down, if I ever have to redo it, I'm going to come down and go underground and then come over. But I didn't want to redo all that because I just did all that this spring. So we just made it work. PVC is fairly cheap, and I like it a lot better than this soft flexible stuff. I just feel safer with it. And I also added a quarter turn valve over there. So I got a quarter turn valve there and a quarter turn valve there, and they also work kind of as a union because you can bust them apart. So during the fall, I'll just turn that valve off and bust them apart, and shouldn't have to worry about that. So important thing to note too, new filter. When you first turn it on, you know, the instructions, like I said earlier, they weren't very clear. But what I did is I got all the sand in here, I filled it up with water, I let it sit for about an hour, and then I went ahead and back flushed it because I didn't know how much sediment was going to be in that sand. And then I ran the clean, I flushed it for a few minutes, and I ran the rinse for a few seconds, and then I turned the filter on. And as soon as I turned the filter on, I made sure I saw where my gauge was, and that way I got I know where it's at when it's clean, so, which was right about 10, and then if it gets up to about 20 psi, then I know it's time to go ahead and do a backwash on it. So anyway, that's my video on replacing my filter. I hope maybe that helps somebody. And so far, I got to say, the Hayward filter and everything, it went together like I wanted it to. I'm happy with it so far. That pump's a lot quieter than that waterway pump I had, but that waterway pump was also about 5 years old. So there it is, the Hayward Pro Series sand filter. Thanks for watching.